Hey, this is Naomi.
Ari,
Treasure,
Amy.
We are Caribbean cousins.
having open,
candid conversations.
About our upbringing.
and much more.
Continue listening to
Spill the tea with us.
Hey Naomi.
Hey. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Okay.
Okay.
It's been a
All
week.
right.
Been a week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Any good things happen this week? Positives for the week.
Today's Memorial Day.
Period.
That's a sad day though.
Oh yeah, it's true.
It's a break for us though. I'm happy with not doing anything today.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I know that like my positive for the week was I saw a lot of family this week,
Mhm.
which I enjoyed. So that was great. That's really good.
Did y'all get to hang out together yesterday? Like,
Oh,
did you get to see
yes.
each other?
Mhm.
Yes. And we got to see another cousin. So that was great. And their family.
I know.
Aw.
She met the children.
I met the little picnic. They were so
Oh
cute.
yes. I haven't met them yet. That's so cool though.
They
The
were
benefits of
excited.
living together in Texas.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was a lot
Well,
of fun.
my weeks have been going by fast because I have a lot to do, and the countdown of when I'm going to see my husband is like approaching. So I just feel like I'm trying to take advantage of every day and just get all the boring adult stuff done. So my week has just been like boring adult stuff and responsibilities and naps. It's kind of boring.
What about you, Emmy? How's your week been?
It's been okay. I started working, so that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
I feel you. How does anybody have any favorites? I know I have a favorite.
Go ahead, girl.
Great. It's a favorite and a rant. So my favorite has been my inhaler. Okay.
Mhm.
Love that thing.
Wow.
Okay. Yes, it keeps me alive. My rant is TSA. I'm getting pre-check or global entry because I had an asthma attack going on a plane because IAH is so spread out. It's so annoying.
Mhm.
It is so annoying. And there's so much traffic at IAH. I got there an hour and a half before my flight, the boarding time, and I still had to sprint to my gate. And I got asthma. Okay. So one sprint was enough for me. And I was like, okay, cool. I don't have to run again. Then I forgot my phone and my ID at TSA.
Oh no.
So I told her, I was like, hey, I left my phone. Can I go run and get it and then come back? She's like, yeah, I'm not holding the flight for you though. And I was already at her like breathing real heavy. I was like, hey, I have asthma. Like, I don't know if I can make it in time. She's like, well, you could try, but I'm not holding the flight for you. Cool. I run back. I run all the way to TSA, run all the way back. And I can't even talk to her. I'm telling her, hey, here's my stuff. And turns out my inhaler was in my carry-on, like the big carry-on, and they had to check it. So by the time I got on the flight, I couldn't have my inhaler. So I had to travel all the way to my destination having a little asthma attack. I was so mad, so pissed off. But when I touched down, I got my inhaler. So that's why it's my favorite. Saved my life.
Oh my God.
Wow.
She was like, listen, I got about 20 of you that I talk to every day. I can't hold the plane for you, boo. I'm sorry. You're not a favorite. You're just a regular ass person.
I wasn't her
what she was
favorite
thinking.
I was so mad. I was like, it would be different if I was
can't.
like, I'm having an asthma attack and I just need to go get something really quickly. But I was like, hey, like, I really have to get on this flight.
Some people do not
And I'm
care.
breathing so hard. You can tell I am laboring to breathe already. And you're going to make me run back and forth. And it wasn't like TSA was like right down the hall. It was down the hall. I had to go down a set of stairs, make a left, and then come all the way back.
Her. If I was TSA, I would be like, it sounds like a lack of preparation. Yo, they don't care. It's so bad though, but it's really sad.
I was mad, but anyway, still love my inhaler so much. It saved my life. I love it. I need to get another one. But yeah, that's my favorite. No other favorites for the month.
I
We
can't lie to you, bro. No, man. Water. Grateful for it. It's been hot as heck. Um, yeah, I can do no brand drops. It is what it is. It is what it is, man.
it is what it is. All right,
Oh,
cool.
one more thing. Sorry. I have been utilizing grocery pickup. Like
Mhm.
I'm not walking around the grocery store if I don't have to. Like I've done that twice this week.
That is the best thing you can
I
do.
feel so nice. I just pull up and just wait for my grocery. Thank you, and just leave.
And you save money because you're getting exactly what you want. You're
You
not
can
going
change your
in
mind
there.
too. You're like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't want this anymore. Mm.
You're not going in there looking at everything. Oh, maybe I do need extra shampoo when you don't even need shampoo. Like all this stuff. It's the best thing that
Yes,
came out of
bro.
COVID.
I told my mom like do that. Like she works so hard and then she wants to come off her long day. And no, mommy, like no. When you at work at lunch, have it all done, pick it up on the way home. It's the greatest thing. It's not gonna be perfect all the time, but it's still worth it.
I don't think
Do
I've
it.
ever used
I have the
it
Walmart app.
before.
I do it with Walmart. I'm sure HEB or whatever else has different options,
Yeah.
but I just do mine with Walmart.
Plenty
They
of grocery
do.
stores, plenty of restaurants. I do it when I eat out. I don't call, I don't walk in and try and order. I just order online, sit down,
Starbucks
have them
too.
walk it to my car. Best thing that
Starbucks
came
too.
out of COVID.
hmm I do for Starbucks, and I love when I do it. My name's on the cup. I go in, no conversation, thank you, and leave. Or I
When I
can pull
tell
in
you,
drive through, but I don't have a drive through with this one. But yeah.
Starbucks pickup is the best thing. Okay, when I tell you, especially when you're running late, because yes, I whenever I'm leaving my house, I order it really quickly and I just skate off and I will run in there looking like a hot mess, but I don't have to talk to nobody. I run in there, grab my things, and I leave. Love it. Love
It's
it.
great.
And like the one near my house, their pickup is amazing. And sometimes the line's short. So I could just go through the drive through and say, hey, I have a pickup order. I'm like, oh, here.
Yeah.
And it's really
I take
nice.
walking distance. It's really great.
Ooh,
Yeah, those are
nice.
favorites. Y'all,
Bet.
I'm ready for this topic, guys.
It's juicy. It's real juicy. It's a peach. It's real nice, nice and juicy.
So
You want to introduce it? You look like you're eager to introduce it. Go ahead.
sorry. So pretty much like many of us as adults, like we learn from our parents how we relate to others, how we treat others, like how our standards are with relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about like our friendships, our quality friendships, the guys or women like we're attracted to, whatever. And so I didn't realize it till I got older that like I just treat my friends differently based on how my mom and dad interact with people, like with respect. Like I don't go off on my friends. I just either it's no energy or it's full energy. Either I love you and I'm fighting for you, or we just done. Like I don't cuss, I don't go back and forth. I just learned that from my parents. Like that's one little thing. So the question I just want to ask the group is how does like how you grow up, your influence, like what's your standard for your relationships? Your friends, your peeps. Like what's your standard? What's your thing?
If you bring out the best in me, because analyzing all of my relationships, it's like you realize, I believe that you're different who you're around. Some people think that that's a bad thing, that it means that you're fake, that it means that you're not a consistent person. I don't think so, because everyone is different. So obviously different parts of you are going to come out. So I'm in this stage where I'm analyzing who I am and every relationship that I'm in, friendship, stuff like that. And some relationships I don't like who I am. So I really have to take the time to see if that's a friendship that's worth it. Like watching my mom and her friends, they are some clowns when they're together. They're goofy, they're funny, everything is a joke, nothing is serious. You wouldn't think they're 60-year-old women, like they act like some kids. but it's cute. It's a good thing. They're having a great time. That's all they do. They just sit up and laugh all the time. And I love my friendships that are like that because I just feel like that's what life is about.
Definitely, like for my friendships, that's 100% the case. Like I've had a friend for almost 20 years at this point. That's our friendship. Like we could have serious things happen. Like I know for my mom's friends, she laughs with them, she jokes with them, but when shit comes to shit, they are there for her no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
Love
going
that.
to yeah, and they're going to find the joy in whatever situation the best that they can. They're still going to laugh, they're still going to be up to bat for them. They're going to help them out in any way that they can because they know that they all have each other. They have that sisterhood. Um they don't shame each other for being in a specific place in life because they know that's my sister. Like I can't judge you for that. That's never a thought that comes in their mind. Like even down to, oh, I'm having this event. I know if I go over to like my mom's friend's house or my aunt or my uncle's house, like if I'm there, like, oh yeah, your mom didn't make it, let me send a plate of food for them. Like those small thoughts that they have to still look out for your friend or for
Mhm.
your family member have stuck with me so much, like growing up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For me, I'll say that I'm very picky with the people that I choose to have in my life because growing up, my my life in general has been kind of unstable because of moving around and to and fro every 3 or 4 years. So over the years, I kind of started making less friends because in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to see you for the next 2 years. So like, almost like, what's the point? But like, I don't really like connect deeply. So now that I'm in college, I not in a way like look at how my mom was because I went to her college, went to Oakwood. Now I'm going to Oakwood, and she had like a small group of friends. I think they're in the same major or like similar majors. And so I kind of followed in her footsteps without even realizing I did because I'm really key on small, intimate, like friend groups because I feel like it's just easier to keep with all them people. And I feel like I can really trust you and connect with you better than like
Mm-hmm.
connect you like 15 or 20 people that I don't even know. And
Mhm.
so I'm very picky of the people that I have in my life. Like stability is really important to me, trust is really important to me. And so I always for me, my thing is always checking up on people, because I feel like I kind of lack that growing up, with my friends and just like how I grew up in general, my childhood. And so I feel like I try to keep my friends small but very intimate, very one-on-one. Like I got you, like like you need something to tell me, like I'm
Mhm.
here, like rant all you want. Like I'm not gonna go gossip. I'm not gonna go do this and that like what other people might
Mhm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I respect that. I think what my dad showed me, and he still continues. We have these conversations. He tells me like quality relationships is everything. You have your associates, you have your people that you're friendly with at work, you're friendly with them. You only have work in common, it's fine. But even at work, you need to have like one person that got you. And so if you invest in those quality relationships, and just like everyone said, like just the fewer the better to me. Like as I get older, I'm in my 30s now, and it's like you don't have high school friends all the time. Sometimes you have that friend you've had for 10 years. Sometimes it's a friend you invest in for 5 years. But if I know you're my sister, I can feel when I'm like we're sisters. I can feel when like you got me. So Chris is like my person. That I have a couple other friends, but I just met a girl here, and I can tell she's my person because she has that vibe like feels like family. Like I feel safe with her. She's not messy. She don't talk about no one. Like if I'm talking to you, you're gossiping about somebody constantly, I'm like, we're probably not going to be friends because you're going to flip around and do the same thing to me if you're trashing on people. like just like going in on people. I understand people are upset, but like it's just like a bit much. So I'm just like Emerald. I'm really freaking picky with people, and my energy decides like, are you safe? Or are you just going to be like the most exhausting person ever? And so I stay at the corner with people. I'm mellow until I know you're safe, and then I'm like, ah, da, 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 da. But if I'm not like that, that means I'm not comfortable around you. I'm just gonna be like, let you talk, let you do your thing. But I'm really picky because it just takes time. Quality relationships take a long ass time to build. They do. I don't got energy for like 25 people.
Mhm.
I
I know.
feel you. Like my core friends, like I truly love them. Like especially like again, I've had a friend and a friendship for 20 years. Like my mom is friends with her mom. They check in with each other whenever they can. Like we went to pre-K together. That's the first time like we met the day before school started. Like we've been locked in for so long. And there's been times where we just either didn't get along. Like there was one time where we didn't get along. But we've had so many moments of how I see my friendship mirror the friendships that my mom have had over a long period of time where I don't know exactly how to describe it, but we'll be going through things that are very serious, but we will make sure to take each other out of that mindset and make sure that we both feel good and feel our best. Like me and my friend, we're both going through something right now. We decided, okay, cool. We're gonna go get pedicures like every 2 weeks. We're just gonna take time off and just make sure that we're good for those 2 weeks.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. It's like good to date your friends. It sounds really weird to say
Mhm.
that, but like Chris wants to do, well, both of us want to do an online date. So we want to like set up our phones and go to Chili's together and order. We used to like every Friday order margaritas and tacos and faithfully like Friday afternoon do it. And we haven't done that. Like obviously we're across the country. So she's like, hey, let's do that this week. It's like, yeah, girl, let's get a margarita and chill and talk on the phone. It's gonna be weird. We gotta find a quiet spot. But we're gonna do that. Because we kind of that's how we vibe. We talk almost every other day, but we're gonna do that. But I like your idea every 2 weeks. That's so nice.
Yeah, because she's moving. I'm gonna move soon. So we're like, we need to have as much time as we can. So yeah.
Let me think. Okay, y'all. So what are like 3 qualities you'd want in a close friend or potential partner? You can pick whichever one you want to kind of go with. Like my friend gotta be boom, 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 or the person I'm thinking of talking to long term, or I'm vibing with this person. Like you gotta have these 3 qualities to like really have my time because time is precious.
Let me see. 3. I feel like those qualities would be the same for both those people. They would display
That's
themselves in different ways, but
Mhm.
like those 3 core things that you have to have, y'all both have to have them. You guys have to be
Mhm.
funny. You have to
Mhm.
be trustworthy, and you have to be comforting in some way. Like when I'm around you, your vibe has to be comforting. And but it has to be displayed in like different aspects. Like again, my best friend, I know that whenever we are talking, we're laughing, and we're in a space, I feel so comfortable around you, and where I'm able to be vulnerable, and there she's able to be vulnerable with me. Same thing for like my partner. I want to make sure that I feel comfortable and I feel safe with my person, where I could again be vulnerable and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my 3. My tree.
I'm going to piggyback off of that because that space of comfortability is very important for me because it is hard for me to open up. And so that's definitely one of my 3. Um, Respect is big for me because there's just so many people out here that just are just terrible people.
Disrespectful, bro. Just disrespectful.
Yes, and it pains me because it's just awful. But anyways, I can go a whole nother way on that. But anyways, so yeah, that space of comfortability, respect, and honestly, I don't want to keep repeating my words, but just that space where we can be ourselves, and truly express our feelings, and we don't feel like we're judged by each other or so for feeling the way that we're feeling.
Yeah, like authenticity.
Yeah.
Like both being authentic to each other. That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah. And trust me, after living a life that I've lived, you learn a thing or two. You
Yeah.
pick up on some things. So
I don't think of mine really. Ari, you have any in mind or?
Yeah. For friendships, you need to be funny, obviously. We've said that. You need to be bold. I really appreciate a friend who can be upfront and be like, listen, this outfit isn't it. You are going to be so mad whenever you look back at these pictures. What are you doing in a relationship with this man? You know this is not what you want. Being somebody that could be straightforward with me, not because they just want to crap on me, but because they have my best interest and want to keep me in line. I feel like too many people are too scared to be upfront with people. But I feel, but I just feel like this is not a world where we can just be tiptoeing. Like, you have to be upfront, because especially, and you need somebody else to do it, because you're not looking at yourself in the mirror all the time. There's not a mirror in front of you all the time. Your friends are the mirror.
So interesting. Let me ask you a question about that, because not everybody likes that. I know everybody doesn't like that. I think what you're asking is for accountability, right? Because a lot of people don't want anyone to hold them accountable. Like, let's just say I check you. Some people are like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to wear this outfit. I'm like, okay, I'm just telling you, I don't,
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't care. This is what that's fine. That person may not want you to check them or hold them accountable in these areas. Or if they talk about a relationship and you see it's damaging, you see this person is like more depressed, their energy is low. You're like, yo, you changing? Like, are you coming? Like, I'm like, okay, my bad. So you want your friend to hold you accountable
and keep me in check.
That's nice. That's cool. Not everybody wants that. That's cool.
And then my third one is security. You ever had to cut off a friend, a female friend specifically, because you realized that they had internalized insecurities that they weren't being honest with themselves about, and that they were secretly jealous of you, and that they were just bringing you down?
Yes.
And the like slight petty things that they say and the things that they do, they never wanted to put you on. They just don't want to see you be great. If they'd rather eat than you. And it's not I want us both to eat. They'd rather eat than me eat,
Yep, definitely. And it's just, it's that little pettiness that they do. And the thing is, they don't bring it to you, so they don't have that boldness that you were talking about.
They are projecting.
They project and they tell everybody else about it. I've definitely had a situation like that before. And it's just, you just have to distance yourself. And sometimes like the universe shows it to you and you don't like it, but you have to abide by it. So yeah.
So for my 3, I need accountability more than ever, but I don't ask for it like ever. But I literally do. I don't know if I could put it on my list, but I actually do need that. Could be like a 4th. But my 3 are vulnerability. I'm a vulnerable person, so I can't talk to someone that doesn't have like any empathy. Or when they talk about their lives, it's very like dry, like, oh yeah, I'm like, how did it make you feel? Oh, I don't really get, like, no, like really, I need you to tell me like actually how it made you feel, so I can really be there for you. So I appreciate people that are vulnerable and admit like, man, it was a really hard year for me, or like I was doing this and this and this at that time. Like I can really like sympathize with you if you're actually being vulnerable. Reliable. So I have friends that like I call them, they are there. Like, I remember when I asked Naomi, like, hey, can you pick me up to the to go to the airport? I didn't think she was gonna do it. You don't have to do it. But you're like, yeah, I'll be there. And you just made it sound like it was really easy. I have friends like that. I just wasn't sure if we were gonna do that. And so I was like, that don't matter. If you're not available, you're not available. But you could have been like out sleeping at that time, but you showed up. And I just need a few people in my life that are gonna show up. Not a ton, just a few people that can be reliable. And the third thing to me is be able to communicate, because I'm the easiest person when it comes to cancel plans. I don't care if you cancel. Actually, I always have a backup plan. In my bed, saving my money, chilling. I don't care if you cancel. But please, for the love of God, tell me something. Tell me a week ahead of time, give me 2 hours, give me some kind of communicate with me. Because if you don't, I really get upset because I'm like, that was a text of there's so many ways that we can communicate, so many apps. And if you just don't talk and then just show up and act like nothing matters, like I don't get upset, but that really like you don't care. You literally don't care. And so like I like all of my girlfriends know like I don't get mad, change your plans. I don't give a darn. Like I'm fine, but just tell me what's going on. And I'm like, okay, can't talk right now. I'm really busy, really exhausted. Or man, I'm broke. Like be honest, like, yo, I don't have the money. I thought we were gonna hang out, but I literally don't have the money. Fine, girl, should we save money, stay home? I'll talk to you. We can have a FaceTime date and chit chat and catch up on the tea. It's fine. Just communicate that. Don't just shut down and block and walk away. Like, don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to piggyback off that, what kind of to merge those first two questions, like what 3 things do you feel like you have to offer your friendships or relationships
Oh, that's a good ass one.
that you've learned from your parents or from like the life that you live? I know for me, like Treasure said, I am reliable. When my friends need me, first it's my family. If my family needs me, if my friends need me, I am there. I don't care what else is in my way. I'll take care of that either before I have to go help my friend or right after. Okay. I have friends that live an hour and a half away. I have a friend that lives 4 hours away. If she is going through something, I am pulling up in Austin, Texas. I do not care. Okay. I will pull up there in 2 hours. Like she doesn't ever have to worry about that if she knows that. My friend, hour and a half away, same thing. They know, hey, if I need something, hey Naomi. I don't care. That's why I'm here. To take you guys to the airport, that's no problem. To pick y'all up, I don't care. As long as I'm able to, I will do it because I know at the end of the day, it makes me feel really good to be able to be there for y'all. Like, yes, I know you guys have my back and everything, but that's a part of friendship that I really, really value. That's why I can't have friends that aren't like that. And not saying that's it's different if it's a boundary thing versus they just don't want to do it for me. Like if it's a boundary issue, that makes sense. But if it's just like, oh no, it's different. But anyway, I know second is definitely having being spontaneous with the plans or just wanting to like be there
what
for
you
them.
offer.
Yeah. Like just spontaneous, like, hey, let's go do something or let's cook some food at home, but like being spontaneous in that way. And my third one, I would say communication, but it's not. I want it to be communication. I'm working on it to be communication because I have a tough time expressing myself not appropriately, but expressing my full self all the time and being present for myself, which does come from like me growing up. Let me see. I don't even know my third one. I think it just is being like that reliable person and just being fun and funny and being a listener and a talker as well. Just being a listener. What about y'all?
Mine's kind of the same as yours. The reliability is one big thing that I'm good at with my friends. There was times where I got a call at 2:00 in the morning. But I got a 10:00 class the next day. But I'll wake up. I'm like, no, I'm not sleeping. What's up? No, I'm wide awake. What's going on? But yeah, reliability is really my thing. Open communication. That's really my thing with my friends. Because I know like we have so many different things going on in our lives, and sometimes not people that you think that they're there that you can share those informations with. And so I always want to make it known that I'm that person that you could share whatever with, like whatever's going on. You know,
That's so important.
I will not judge you at all. Like you rolled over a cat, down the road, okay, cool. Let's see how we can help the cat, or help the traffic.
Let's
Like
shovel it off the road. Like,
yes, I guess that's okay. We can figure this out. Like it's all right. I think number third for me is trust. I think that the kind of all play in the same field, all three that I just shared, but trust, reliability, open communication. Like trust is pretty much the main background of everything. Like, without trust, you can't have anything. And this can't be a good relationship if we both can't trust each other. I can't trust you, you can't trust me. So I always want to make it known that, like, at the end of the day, like, I got you. Like, you're my friend. Like, I am your friend. Like, I have your back, whether it's just us two or whatever. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
For me,
Go ahead.
for me, I would say I think I give the best advice. People always come to me for advice, and I think I do a really good job of that. I think I'm really good at knowing my own biases and situations and being able to give, advice. I consider myself to be a girl's girl. I'm not a friend that's gonna be catty, that always wants drama, that's gonna be jealous of you talking about you. I'm gonna give you a compliment. I'm gonna hype you up. I'm gonna make you feel good about yourself. I'm gonna fix your tampon for you, if anything. Like, I'm gonna do what I have to do to make you feel secure as a woman,
The visual. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, girl. Ugh, right there.
Can you like prop your leg up really quickly? I didn't really see them like move
Yeah,
it
girl,
to the
it's
side.
hanging out a little bit.
Sorry, that was left field for me.
Some gyno stuff, girl.
And I'm humorous. Like, I think I'm a light in a lot of people's lives. And I think that's something a lot of people need in friendships. Like, so many people's friends are just so dry. Like, not that you got to be the funniest out here, but to just have a friend that that whenever you're around them, it's going to be a good time. Like, it's just going to be positive energy. I think that's very important. And I think I provide that.
Giving me life. Yes, you do, honey. Yes, you do. For me, it's spirituality. So my mom is like the person people go to for calm. Like, she's everyone's mentor in a way. Like, people like, oh, your mom did this and this for me. And so I feel like for my friend group, especially people that aren't part of church too, like, I'm their spiritual person they go to. Like, friends will be like, man, after I talked to you, like, I was able to feel more grounded. Like, you kind of like uplifted me. And that's not even about like God per se, but it's like affirming them. I'm like, girl, do you know who you are? Do you know whose you are? I'm like affirmation, 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 but also giving them space to be who they are. And I know a lot of friendships don't offer that. Like, I have friends that meet me and they tell me who I am the minute they meet me. That's a turn off. If you first meet me, like, oh, I know who you are. You're this, completely turned off. No, let the person evolve and be their multifaceted self. Example, Ariel, you're not one way all the time. I can't look at you and be like, oh yeah, Ariel's totally like a calm person. Oh, she's totally like a lit person all the time. No, you're not. You're boom, 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 boom. And so I feel like I allow people to just be them. Like, there's space for you. You can be depressed one day. You could be hopeful one day. You can be hype one day. You can be all that you can be. I'm not going to put you in a box. There's space for you to just be yourself. I'm not sitting on top of you, overpowering you. I'm there mingling with you. So I offer like spirituality, that comfort, that affirmation. I allow you to have space to be who you are. And then I think the best thing I can offer my friends is being my authentic self. Because then I remind you, like, you can be too. You can be a mess, you can be together, you can be anything. So, but just, I feel like the reliability kind of helps too, because Naomi says, if I have it, you can have it too. Maybe our parents taught us that, but for me, like, if I have $1 to give, it's always yes. Especially if that money does not have any direction to go in, it's just sitting there, it's yours. Now, if I don't have it to give, I can't give it, but it's always yes if I have it. Especially if it's like a reasonable price. Like, a friend needed her car fixed. Yeah. If this money is gonna help you get from to to fro and I have the money, it's yours. I can afford it. It's yours.
I definitely think that for me, my mom, my grandma taught me that because I've seen and I've heard the stories of my parents, my mom and my grandma helping people consistently. Like
Mhm.
my grandma would talk about how if she made some bread, she would send it over to cousin Edna's house. Or she made this, she would send it right over. And somebody would be coming back with whatever cousin Edna made or whatever. And then I saw with my mom, same thing. If I needed something, yes, I'm her kid, but like if I needed help with something, she was right there for me. If one of her friends needed something, she was right there for me. If she heard one of my friends ask me for something, not major, like, oh, do you have like cake? I'm like, yes, we have 50 types of cake here. And da 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 da. Are you allergic to anything? Da da da. Would be always right there. So I definitely know for a fact I learned that directly from my mom and directly from my grandma.
It sounds as if whatever your natural talent is, you should be like giving of that. Like
Mhm.
if your mom, like if your mom and grandma and you two are good in the kitchen, so you're like, oh, I have plenty to go. Like you can, I cook too much. Yeah, you can have some. That's like your natural talent. It comes easy. Like, yes, have plenty.
Yeah.
All of
And
it.
that is my family's like natural talent. Like asking my friends, they know that hey, Naomi's either cooking or baking something, like I'm gonna pull up and I'm fine with that. Or I'm gonna place the order. And they know that for a fact.
I know Auntie Debbie is direct and she's funny
Mhm.
while doing it. And that's you. That's you. Like I love when I hear my mom and your mom on the phone, Grace, da, 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 da. I'm just like, yeah, she giving my mom the tea and it
Mhm.
sounds good. I want to listen. It sounds really good.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's where I get it from.
Direct.
Yeah. Definitely just very direct.
Mhm.
Well, we talked about friendships. Let's just dive into the other types of relationships, why don't we?
Mhm.
So like romantic relationships.
Mhm.
What okay, I know for me, there's been things that I've seen in whether it's my household or just my family, not even like the social media aspect, but just like my family, my household that have I won't say hindered, but have made me feel a certain type of way about like romantic relationships. Do you guys have some similar experiences like that? Or do you guys feel kind of the same way?
No, I want to jump in, but I'm just waiting for the flow of things. I don't want to take over. But
You can
Emerald,
take over.
Ariel's side. I want to give Ariel some, some time to breathe.
Let me formulate these thoughts.
So I'm actually like writing down some thoughts right now because let me just say one thing. I love my parents to death. I really do. Divorce changes you.
Mhm.
And I've seen how the recovery is a long time. Like I remember my parents went through all their feelings. We went through some feelings as kids. They remarried, so happy for them. Both of them are in 10+ year marriages. I'm really like I've seen them grow up. I see my parents grow up and become better people.
Mhm.
But I'm still hurt. Like, so and I've seen it with my own sisters. Like your parents go off, they live their life, they're doing better, but you're still hurt. And so the kids, I feel like, suffer the absolute longest. Maybe the parents suffer too, they don't talk about it, but the kids, you that shapes how you see relationships. And
Oh,
thankfully for me, one more thing, like thankfully for me, because I see my parents remarry, I forever have this thought that like no matter what happens, no matter if it's like I go through the worst pain in the world, I will find love again. Like
mhm.
there's got to be I just have this super big hope like love will find me again. I have love in me. I'm going to attract love. It's going to be okay, but I'm still scared because I've seen how bad it gets and I don't want that. I really don't. Yeah. I have that fear.
All right, you want to go or you want me to go? Who
Oh,
wants to
I
go
was just gonna
next?
ask Treasure, how old were you when they were divorced again?
I remember I was like 8 years old and they came
Mm-hmm.
into my third grade class and they took me to McDonald's and we had a conversation. I'll never forget that.
Not McDonald's.
I think that was what it was. That's my memory. 8 years old, third grade, McDonald's. And then moving to Texas in 2000. I think like not the same year as 9/11. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
2001.
yeah, I think that's when we moved. I was like 12. So seeing my dad every summer, whatever, certain holidays. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but what was the question again? Sorry, I really want to forget
Which question?
how we choose our partner. Like is that what you asked us
Oh
at
no,
first?
I just asked what have we seen growing up that have kind of directed how we thought about relationships, whether it was good, it was bad, like what have you seen? What are your
I've
experiences?
seen people can go through hell, come back, find love again. It gonna hurt. It requires a lot of emotional work, self work, but you can find love again. Like that's the story I have based on how my parents raised me. You can find love again, but it gonna hurt. And it's gonna affect everybody, not just you. It's gonna affect the whole community, your kids, you. It's not just you. Everybody going through a divorce and separation.
Yeah.
But love is
So
possible.
I've seen something similar with a different ending.
Mm-hmm.
Um so in my life, and like I promise you, I have thought about this, I've cried about it, I've like done everything about it, but like I felt all the way through it. But in my life, what I have seen has not been positive, and not much that I've seen. There's very few instances, but they're all outside my immediate family where I see that love is possible and it can happen. I try to choose my words real carefully right now, but I do not see a love that I would want for myself extremely close to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, for example, my parents, there was a divorce, but I don't remember it. I don't remember a lot of things that happened between that. But I know that my mom loves me, and whatever my mom does, I'm put before a lot of things. The Again, I'm gonna choose my words really carefully. You know what? F everybody else. My father, the person that is half of my DNA, completely abandoned his family and me. Again, I don't know for what reason. Oh, I hate saying this, but yeah. Um, I didn't re-meet him until I was 17, 18,
Mm-hmm.
16, 17, 18. Yeah, around that age. Like the only thing that he ever did was um send like half my prom money. That's the first thing that he did for me, that I was in communication with him. The first time I met this man, I I will say re-met him. It was so awkward. My stepdad was there, and it was in the middle of my stepdad's ex-stepdad's sister's um house, and they didn't even want to go past the living room. It was supposed to be, he was supposed to take me out to go somewhere. He didn't even take me out. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't even want to come by himself. He had to bring my aunt with him. And he didn't talk most of the time, my aunt did.
Mm-hmm.
So, but so that was the first instance. Like I felt like, okay, cool. Guys could abandon you at any point in time. And you had to figure it out. That's kind of been what I have seen in my life. You have to make sure that you are solid, because guys will abandon you at any point in time. It will happen. That's the mindset that I've grown up around. And not intentionally, because my mom never talks negatively about any single guy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's what I've seen. My mom intentionally does not talk bad about anybody. Um, the person that I call my dad, who is my ride or die, again, fight everybody over that man, love him so much. Again, they just didn't make it work. But I saw that he has complete compassion for my mom. If my mom, that's a good, like, he's a good guy. It just didn't work out. And he made it to where I know from that you could find somebody else. But again, he's a guy. So I'm seeing guys are able to do that. I don't see it for my mom. So
Do you have any questions for your birth father? Like, do you feel like, do you want to know what happened, or do you like, I don't care, it's in the past?
no, I don't care about that man.
Okay.
Anyway.
I respect it. I hear it. I hear you.
It is what it is, and I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly do not. I don't think, yeah, I do not care. I've gone over that. He could continue with the communication that we have. I'm happy that my dad adopted me and I am his, and he's a person that I model most relationships from my dad, not half my DNA. Okay. But other than that, so after those, then came my stepdad. Now ex-stepdad, they knew each other when they were in their younger teens and then reconnected. So everybody was sitting here thinking, this is such a good quality, like, love story. It's so beautiful. And he treated us really nicely at first. And then all of a sudden things just started to turn around in a bad way. And just things started to happen that went downhill, and it went hill very drastically. And then again, that mindset gets confirmed of, okay, no matter what, guys could act a certain way at first, but at the end, no matter what happens, they will leave or they will find a new family. And it just gets reconfirmed. So I would love to say that I have like a really positive outlook on relationships, but I've had to go to therapy for it. I went to therapy for 1.5 years over how I view relationships, because I want to have a happy, healthy marriage in the future. I want a good family, one that is loving, and I do want a husband, but I also have to overcome all that stuff. So I went to therapy for it for a while.
That's awesome. It takes a lot of courage, because therapy's work. And just sit there and chit chat.
No, like, I wish if it was just like, hey girl, what's up? But it's not. It was me shutting down sometimes. It was me crying. But yeah. Anyway.
Pose the question again so I can remember, and so the listeners can remember. You asked it and I loved it. I was just like, ooh.
I feel like I've said this question different ways every single time.
It's totally fine.
But basically, growing up, what did you see relationship wise, like romantic relationship wise, and how has it shaped your view on relationships?
Well, for me, growing up, it was just me and my mom. I grew up with a single mom. She didn't have like a boyfriend or anything. I didn't have like a stepdad or anything like that. And so growing up, I always knew her as somebody that was like set in life. She had her house, she had her car, she had her child, stuff like that. She had money, she was traveling. So I didn't think a relationship was something that was necessary. Of course, until I got older and you're in high school and everybody's like, where's your boyfriend? Oh, why don't you have a boyfriend? Stuff like that. But, I didn't think that it was something that was necessary, which I think it's kind of interesting that I had that mindset, because you know how it is for women. Everyone's like, where's your husband? Stuff like that. So my view on relationships was kind of like non-existent. What my view on relationships was my mom's siblings. And that's what really had me like what is a relationship? Because let me look at my notes.
Yeah, look at those notes real quick.
Yeah.
I need some hot tea somewhere.
It's like, I just remember sitting back to myself, do these people like each other? Because it's like, it's not that you have to be all up under each other, lovey-dovey, kissing, holding hands. You
I
don't
would
have
like
to
to see
do
that
all that.
sometime, though.
I
It'd
know.
be kinda
Of
cute
course,
to
that
see
would be nice. That would be cute to see. Like, not even that you have to do that, because of course, like I could imagine, like, since you've known each other so long, been married so long, like that stuff only happens when it's really special. But it's like that never happened. And then it's like there's not even any mannerism or any habit that indicates that y'all are husband and wife. Y'all
Mm.
look like y'all only live
Spill
together.
it.
I
Spill
don't
it.
even know. It's like I don't even know how y'all made these children. How did you make these children? I've never even seen y'all look at each other. Like, I feel like a lot of that comes from, because, we're also SDA. I feel like a lot of it comes from, like when they were growing up, they weren't allowed to date. They weren't, that purity culture was something that was forced on. They weren't having sex. They weren't kissing. They weren't thinking about looking at men and girls.
Maybe they were. Maybe it was just
or yeah,
shamed.
you're
Shame,
absolutely
shame,
right. Like
shame.
they probably were, but it was all suppressed. So
Yeah.
they didn't have that practice of like dating and like having sex and like going through this and that. So I feel like a lot of people of their generation settled with whoever liked them. And so that translated on me whenever I started, like having feelings for people. I just dated whoever liked me, because I thought that that's what you were supposed to do. You just date whoever
Yeah.
likes you.
Yeah.
And then it's like as I got older and I started thinking about it, like, okay, like, because you see certain things and you see how a healthy relationship is supposed to look like. And so that's whenever I started doing my own research and trying to figure out what I like and my standards and my boundaries,
Ooh, boundaries
figure
takes a
out.
long time to figure out. That's a whole podcast, y'all. Oh my
Therapy.
God.
Fucking hell.
I know.
Therapy.
Ooh.
And I took those years to figure out. And from doing that, I had some good relationships from that I really learned a lot from, because I was really able to just sit and like figure myself out sexually, emotionally, all that. And it's a shame that not a shame, let me not say that, but it's kind of sad that like those emotions were suppressed within them, that 50 years later, they're in these loveless relationships, sleeping in the same bed as someone that they don't even like to look at.
I think
So
it's the cutest. I think it's the cutest thing, sorry, when I see grown folks, our parents, 50s, 60s, 70s, like hold hands, open a door for one another, be in the corner cackling and laughing side jokes. Like, I love to see that. I love to see people like be intimate in whatever way. It gives me hope, because people are looking at our marriages like, they're hopeful. They're rooting for us. And when it's bad, it's like, dang, bro. You start thinking like, is it possible? So marriages are really influential for the whole community.
Like, one thing that really like gave me a good example of like what a marriage should look like is honestly like your mom and dad, your mom and stepdad, like, because not that they were always kissing and these things, but there were mannerisms and there was
like each other.
Language that indicated that they liked each other,
And they care about each other. And like Uncle Roger would check on her, and he would, and your mom would do the same thing. And how they interacted with everybody, like as a whole unit, like I bet you I couldn't tell Uncle Roger that you're not his. Like, for example, like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah, that's my dad.
exact. Yeah, and he jokes with you just the same as he does everybody
We
in the
look alike. I
family.
told him the other day, I was like, why we look alike?
Yeah.
My favorite
But
thing is going to those grown folks parties and seeing them dance together.
Mhm.
That little oh, I want to do that. I was like, when I get married, I want to do that little oh, da 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 da. I wanna be-
yes. And like they smile at each other. And like honestly, I see it in your parents, and like I also see it in Emerald's parents as well.
Mhm.
Like I see Uncle Conrad annoy Auntie Fiona, and I love it. So I mean, what do you see?
Yeah.
I was about to comment to that because imagine her that he be bugging, be two other people in the house and he be bugging equally, even more. But anyways, that's funny because for me, well, just for the listeners, my parents are not divorced. My parents are together. They've been together for now 22 years. They had an anniversary last week.
Dang.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I need to, okay.
Yes. I think it was 2000. They got married. Yep. In 2 years, I came. And then 7 years, Malia came. So, for me, I will say one thing that I hold dear, not just to my relationship, but to my friendship, is the stability. Um, with them moving back and forth from Michigan to Texas, and there was moments where my mom was living in Michigan, my dad was in Texas because my mom took care of her mom when she was sick for a moment. And then there was times where we were in Michigan and, like trying to figure stuff out, the money and, housing, all that stuff. I just commend that part for them, holding it together through so much. I can't even imagine like the life that they live together. Yes, question.
Sorry, I'm going through a long distance marriage and it really hurts. Okay, moving on.
That's funny. I think I mentioned this before we started the podcast, but they were dating long distance before they got married because he was living in New York. My mom was living in Michigan for 2 years before they got married, and they both hopped over to Michigan. But for me, I looking at them, I decided to be single up until like maybe 3 months ago. The reason why I decided to be single was because I knew that I did not just want to be with anybody.
Mhm.
I knew that for the life that I want to live and for the type of relationship that I want, it takes certain qualities and certain parts of a person that I need, that I cannot just be going to this and that person just because I'm feeling lonely in a moment or just because I see some people in relationships, maybe it's time for me to be in a relationship. Like, yes, it was hard, but I was really intentional. But like there's one specific type of person that I want to be with. So I'm willing to wait for that person to come. And I held on to that. And I got some comments from friends and people are like, you know what? We need to set you up. Like, how come you have a boyfriend? We need to set you up, but I got you. I'm like, no, don't do that, please. That really gave me high anxiety because you do not know what I want. You do not know who I am. You don't know what I require in a person. So for you to try to set me up with someone who you think that will pair nice with me is just setting up for destruction. Because I promise you, it's not going to click. It's not going to click. For me, I needed that friendship foundation, that kicking, goofy, play fight, but like at the end of the day, like I could talk to you about whatever because like you're my friend, I can trust you. Like we already established that space where I can open up to you, I could be vulnerable. And so that friendship foundation was really important to me. So that's why I held on to. Like if I could be friends with you, like best friends with you, then I know for a fact that we can last as an actual romantic relationship. Because at the end of the day, like we could only look at each other so googly eyes for so long. Like if I can't like really talk to you like as a person, like if I don't like you as a human being, I don't see myself hanging around with you 24/7, then you're wasting each other's time. And so I was really direct on that. I was really strong on that. Like I did not let go of that. Like I held those, I made a list, all things that I wanted and needed in a relationship early on in like early high school. And over the years, I made sure to review it, change it up because I change over the years. Some things I might need or some things I realize I don't really need, you know. And so over the years, I changed it up. But I realized that I really needed someone that I could be dependent on. Same thing goes to the whole stability. Like so much could happen. I could end up moving to whatever state next 2 years for all I know. But I need to know that what we have, like you were still there for me, whatever happens, happens. Like if this is meant to be, then I know that we can work it out with whatever circumstance that happens. And another thing that I saw in my parents that is really important to me is for me personally, having that relationship with God. I know for a fact that I cannot go out and try to pick a relationship based on what I think I need. Because honestly, I sometimes base off my actions off of emotions. And that's not a good thing to do. Just because one day I'm feeling like this doesn't mean I can't just go up to that person just because one day I'm feeling like this. Oh, I just been this, and that. Maybe, whatever. I'm going to hop over to that person. So I really needed to be some place to be grounded, which was God for me. And so having that, and it's up and down. My relationship with God isn't perfect, but knowing that there is someone who can help me guide my steps, someone to show me what exactly I need, who exactly is for me, who is not for me, who I need to stay away with, who I need to start gravitating to, and what I need to change in order for that person to come. Because I can't just be making my list of what I want this person to buy, make a list of what I need to change within myself, And so I remember there was maybe a year, I think it was junior year or senior year of high school, where I was like, well, dang, it would be nice if a relationship came around, this time or next month or so, checking the clock here, which was crazy because I had time. I'm young. What am I doing? I haven't even entered college yet. But I was like, you know what? Maybe there's something internally that is a little off. And so I checked it for good. When COVID came, the whole 2020, I'm like, you know what? We just got to dedicate this time to you. And it was amazing. Like I learned so much about me. I was happier during the day. Like I was able to be more grateful. Like I just became just a better person to be around. And so when college came, I had a new mindset. I was like, you know what? We can still wait. We can still go wait for this person. We could, make friends, to enjoy your time. It's freshman year. There's no rush. And I know the whole, you're going to find your husband. I felt Oakland was really pushed down a lot of kids' throats. A lot of kids now are like, well, I can't find no one. Everybody here is ghetto and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, some people are ghetto. However, under those bad bunch of people, there are a few good people. And they're hard to find. They're scattered out like little particles of snow. They're very, very, very rare. But being intentional with what you're looking for, staying grounded and not basing your action off emotions was really important for me. And so because I kept that for so long, I was able to find something that was natural. And it just came. Like I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't like hoping, and we're just like, oh man, like now would be a great time for a relationship to come. Like I was just like, whatever happens, happens. I'm just gonna continue to have fun with my friend, up these grades. You feel me? Just like whatever happens, happens. And all of a sudden, it just came up like free food. And at first, I wasn't even trying to be in a relationship. We just started off as a friend. And that person became like my bestest friend. Like it just happened naturally. And so now I'm in a relationship. I can say it now. I'm in a relationship. I don't mind sharing. And I shared so many parts of me that I've never shown with even my closest friends, because we established that foundation of friendship where we can be vulnerable, we can be open, we have that comfortable space. And he talks about that to be all the time, like, you know, you can come to me, like this is a comfortable space. Like that is actively
Aw.
like preached like religiously every time that there's something that I want to talk about and I'm feel a little on the fence, go I'm like, I don't know if I want to share. Like he's like, whenever you're ready, like, you know, this is an open space to talk to me about anything. And that's something that my dad has been talking to me about it now since, you know, I'm a college student, you know, I'm going through life, you know, different things I never experienced before since different things I've never experienced, you know, being in middle school or being in high school, even though I'm out in the world now, you know, that comfortable space is really important to me. So now that I have that in this relationship now, you know, I'm glad that I stood by those standards. I stood by, you know, what I needed. And so, yeah, I'm happy. It's great. I generally like this person. Like I could actually like look at this person and be like, you know, I do. Like you cool. You know, you cool. I mess with you. You know? And so, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I just want to affirm you and say that I love that you wrote down what you wanted in a partner, because I did the same. I was intentional about the qualities I wanted. And whenever I felt like I wasn't getting what was on my list, I'd be like, do I really understand what I want? Let me just make sure I wrote down and I'm clear about my intentions. And so having that list is like super important. And though I'm sure what's on your list isn't like silly stuff, it's like really core principle values you grew up with. And so I would say you can trust your thoughts, because the things you wrote down are not just like frivolous, oh, he got to be da, 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 da. Like it's really core stuff of a good person. And so you can trust your thoughts. And so because you have a relationship with God, you can trust your thoughts. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to miss the mark. You're going to miss some things, but like you wrote them down for a reason. You wrote them with attention. They are spirit filled, or they're like, they have a good conscience on them. So you can trust your thoughts. I want to hear more people say like, I trust my thoughts, and I have discernment. I have discernment thanks to my mom and my dad. I could smell bullshit a mile away. And so when I'm not comfortable, my body goes like, ooh, like when I know a guy is disgusting or a person I know is like not good for me, my whole body like wants to just like run away. And I listen to that physical intuition and that physical instinct. And I'm like, I feel uncomfortable. Why am I uncomfortable? God, why am I uncomfortable? And then I had the conversation like, okay, God, if you really don't want this person for me, give me like the clear check. And I get the clear check. I'd be like, are you sure? You know, one more check. And I'm like, yo, this person is giving me highs. Like I'm uncomfortable. I want to run away. But like, I need to listen to my intuition, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. And I'd be like, I'm going to listen. And every time I listen, it'd be correct. I'm never wrong on that. And it's not just me, but it's like me collaborating with God. So trust your instincts. Don't be like, oh, I don't know that. Like, you're pretty wise. Look how intentional you are about picking you wise. You know what you're doing. You may miss it every once in a while, but you, for the most part, 9 out of 10, you're going to figure it out. Like, we all miss. It hurt when we miss though, don't it? You be like, yo, I knew it. I missed that one. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna get the other one. It's fine. It's cool.
Definitely. Well, Emmy kind of talked about some things that she saw in her parents' relationship that she wanted to model. What about you, Treasure? Because you're in a marriage. So what are things that you
I know, so I know, right? Like big thing. I noticed that all of the people that brought home spouses, like Auntie Jan and Auntie Michelle, like the people that brought home recent spouses, brought home people that felt like family. Like every person can come in and like, you just love them. Uncle John, like he's the homie. Like he wasn't someone that was like, oh, why he here? Like, I love Uncle John. Like, I love him so much. Like, he cut my hair. Like, he's my homie. He is for
Yeah, he
me.
cool.
Okay. Like,
He nice dude.
when I first met Roger, I was 10 years old, and he was just key, funny, hilarious. I was like, I like this guy. And he's still the same funny dude. He's not like super serious, super weird. Like, he's funny. So everybody that picked the spouse picked a good person. And I was like, if I bring somebody here, they gotta be funny, they gotta be quick with it, they gotta blend in with my family, they gotta be able to take a joke, take whatever funny things my family say. You can't be scared. And you have to ask both my dads to marry me. Like, you got to be confident in who you are and know who you are. My spouse can hold his own. I could leave him, my family. He back speaking with a Caribbean accent. That man is not Caribbean. Like, he's hilarious.
That's my cousin. Don't play on my cousin's
To the
top like
point
that.
where,
Okay.
like, we go to Caribbean restaurants and he's like, hey man, what should I get from the menu? And I'm like, what are you? And the guy's like, are you Caribbean? He's like, no. And the guy told him, like, you just faking that, huh? You don't even know what you're talking about. Yo, but Lex can take a joke, and I love that. So he's funny. He feels like home. Like, he's safe. He's kind. He's reliable. He's direct. He's just like everything a person can want. He's a handyman. That was on my list. That man can fix the car if something happens. He got he got a whole toolbox like my dad does. Like, intelligent, can hold a
I remember
Yeah.
whenever we
too many
saw
things on the list.
I remember when I first met him, he was at like Thanksgiving. And I was like, he just fits in so well. It's funny because I saw that picture a little bit ago. I don't remember what I was going through, but like I was going through something and I was like, oh my goodness, there's Lex. And my grandma's right there too. Like, I have a picture with Lex and Aunt Jay. And I was like, he fit in so well. I forgot he was there. Like, not in a bad way, but like,
He's cool people. He doesn't even take up too much space. Like, he's the only person that does not annoy me. Like, there are a lot of people that just, like, their presence annoys me. And I've seen it. Like, I've dated a guy, I'm just like, ugh, you're just talking. I just don't want you to talk anymore. But Lex could just be in his little corner, just chilling. I'm like, you good? He's like, I'm good. And we just go back to silence. Like, so for me, qualities is like, you can enjoy each other's company. You can crack at each other. You can make fun of each other. You can sit in silence. You can, like, rely on each other for something. They're not flaky. Just family vibes, and loves God. And it's not holier than thou about it. Like, you're down to earth, but you still love God. Like, just be normal, please. Don't be weird. And then, like, yeah. And I thought, to me, I wanted a unicorn. I wanted someone that was like a gem. I don't need you to be flashy. I don't need you to have a six pack. I don't need you to be like the prettiest diamond. I just need you to be a rare, kind human. And to me, he's really rare to me. And there's not many people like him at all. At all.
that's beautiful, you too. That's great. I hope one day I could like find something like that. I'm not, the thing is,
write the vision,
Yeah.
make it plain, for real, for real.
yeah, the thing is, I have that vision. I've gone to like having like the Pinterest board and having like a list. And the thing is, I honestly, and it sucks to say, and I hate saying it, but like every single time I say this, I start crying. But I honestly do not see myself in that, because
In what?
I do, like, in an actual successful relationship. Like, it sucks to say that.
You may not be ready. You can't force it.
Yeah, I know that, but I do not. Some people have it to where they know that, okay, at this moment, I could work on myself, and I know that I'll get to that point. I don't see it at all,
Okay.
like, whatsoever. Like, I know that, not that I know, my thought process behind it is, I could work on myself so much and know that it could still not happen.
Not being married is not, not being married is an option, right? Because that's not something our family ever talks about, but not being married is also an option.
Yeah. And it is, like, it is an option. Like, I could, and I joke about it all the time. I'm always going to be the funny, single, rich aunt. And that's it. which right now I am. We're working on the rich part, but um, right now I am. But I don't want to be that my whole entire life. Like it's not something that I want. What's up?
Earlier how you were talking about like what your mom has been through, how you were saying how what that basically imprinted in you, men can abandon, men can do whatever they want, and you as a woman just have to get over it. Do you think that's trauma from that? Like, do you feel
Yes,
defeated from that?
it's both. Like it's not only with my mom, it's also with, it's not just seeing it as like the perspective of my mom. I see it from guys too. Like
Mhm.
we have guys in our family that either years later we found out that they were doing a bunch of stupid stuff behind their wife's
All
back,
right. So right.
or before that they were married, they had a whole set of different things happening, and now they're married and they just, you don't know if they're still not
Mhm.
it. Like you don't know if they've actually improved or just approved for appearances.
Mhm. I can I,
And
I can understand that mentality. It's scary. It's not something to be taken lightly. It's scary.
yeah, and like I want those things, and it's not just I want them for appearances things. I want a family, like I generally do,
Mhm.
but I don't see it happening. So like a lot of the things that like go through my head in that process, like it's not fun. It's like battling yourself and what you actually know that you want.
Mhm.
And because I know for a fact I'm going to have a successful career because I want that. Well, not only because I want it, because I know that's something that I can attain,
Mhm.
but I also want a family. I want a big family actually,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I
Hmm.
don't know if that's actually attainable for me.
So your belief in the career is because you know you can do it. You
Yeah,
physically, yeah, it's physically in your control.
that's not dependent upon anybody else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like especially nowadays, like you don't have to have a big career, or not a big career, a big college degree for a career that you like. You could blow up in a second. You could make your own way. You could create your own business. You could work from the
Consistent,
ground
yeah,
up.
yeah, from the ground up consistency.
And there's multiple ways to be successful in that.
Mhm.
There's multiple ways to do that. But when it comes to like a marriage, that's not something I can work on by myself.
In a way, you're right, but it's
And the thing is, like, I haven't seen it in my immediate family that I would want for myself.
Mhm.
Again, not knocking anybody's whatever, but yeah.
I
So
don't ever want to sound like, I know it's so easy for me to be like super idealist, super optimistic. There are things I personally struggle with that even though I know how to overcome it, I still battle with it. Like I know how to put myself in a good mood. I know how to be uplifted, but I still suffer from depression. Like there's no, I I do the best I can to be optimistic and I know how to shift my energy to be in a better mood, but when I'm down, I'm down. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So I'm hearing that from you, and I don't want to sound like, yeah, just do this, and yeah, like I'm not going to talk
yeah.
like that. But I will say that the person I'm with right now was single for almost 10 years because he was like, I don't see a relationship. I see a bunch of marriages that are broken up himself. And he was like, I, I'm not interested in that, or I don't see that for myself right now. And you just go about your life. You do the best you can, and maybe it'll happen. Maybe you're not. I know you're going to go on living your life, hopeful, but not looking for it probably. Not
Yeah.
maybe
Like
not hardcore on it.
definitely. Like I've definitely just like chilled out on the idea of it and just like decided I'm gonna have to just do me,
And
figure things
sometimes it
out for
happens like
myself.
that. When you're not looking, sometimes it comes up on you. You'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the thing is, like, that idea also for me sucks. Like it's not a pleasant idea through my head, because all that stuff still cycles. Oh, I'm focused on myself. Maybe it'll pop up. wait a minute, then the whole cycle repeats.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's not even like a perfect formula, because there are people that are like, they do nothing, they work on themselves and they meet that person. There are people that are intentional, like they go out there and they look and they find that person. Like there's so many different ways to do it, and it's like you just have to be true to yourself. You can't pretend, you can't force. Your route is your route, your path is your own path. You know, work for some people, it doesn't work for some people, but
Exactly. Oh, it is what I'm just gonna figure it out when, so there's nothing I could really do about it besides focus on myself. So womp womp.
no, I want to say I'm all for doing things in non-traditional way. I love when I see people do things like, hey man, I know this podcast is like, most of us are Christians, whatever, but if you find a non-traditional way to make a relationship work, sometimes you got to think out the box. You don't have to, but sometimes you have to think outside the box. Sometimes you're doing something slightly different than how you're raised, but it works for you. Some married people live in separate places. Like people just do whatever works for them. So yeah, you get to design the life you want.
Exactly. I'll figure it one day. But yeah, that's just the current mindset I have with it. So I'm still working on fixing it. I went to therapy for a while over it, and this is where I am. But what it was, like I used to be very about relationships, like trusting people, wanting a timeline, and I've worked on that part. And a lot of other things were hindering it, but there is progress there. So I know as I get older, there's even more progress. It's just that's my mindset is currently because of what I've seen growing up and because of the environment that I raised in. So yeah.
So one thing I do in friendships is people are not my projects. So if I'm ever telling you something, it's for the overall group. Yeah, people aren't my projects. I'm not anyone's therapist. I'm not anyone's qualified therapist. So I'm never going to tell someone to do something as if I know what they really go through, but here's what I've done or here's what other people done, and your life is your life. Like people are not my projects. Just want to put that out there. Not micromanaging anybody. Yeah. I'm really selective with giving people advice because I don't know people's backstories. I don't.
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you have anything more to say, Ariel? Are you good? You good?
Oh, I'm fine.
I think the last question, we don't have to go for. I'm gonna raise the question. Like, have you? Oh no, that's not what it is. It's pretty much any advice you give your younger self about where you are now, like relationships, friendships. Any advice you'd give your younger self? Like, yo, young this person, young Ariel, young Emerald. Like, you need to. This is, comfort you can give yourself.
To never settle. Like you can find, there's too many people on this earth that I feel like there's somebody for everybody. There's more people looking at you than you're looking out at. Like you can find, I feel like you can find exactly what you want. That's what I would tell my younger self. Because, like I said, my younger self, which is with people who liked me. I didn't even particularly like them.
What about you?
Let me see. For me, I would say, I guess to be yourself. I know it sounds cliche, just be yourself. But honestly, like, be your authentic self in whatever form that is. Be that person so you can actually attract someone who's authentic to who you are. Because if you put out a form of you that's not authentic to yourself, you're going to attract something that doesn't actually fit you. It's not healthy or beneficial to you. And then you'd be like, well, dang, this is not actually who I am, but like, I'm kind of stuck in this situation, And so just be yourself. Honestly, like you don't have to do anything to try to impress people or to try to get that attention from those type of people. Like be yourself so you can actually attract the right type of people, and that goes all for friendships and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my advice.
I think for me, it would just kind of just be like, put your blinders on. Um, just me to put my blinders on, just keep on going and not really pay attention to everybody else's relationships around me. I wish if growing up I wasn't involved in everybody's relationship. Um, but like I knew too much growing up. I knew way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily my mom's part. She kept me out of, but for other relationships in my family, I knew too much, and I wish if I just was to keep my blinders on and just say, nope, don't want to be a part of it. Nope, don't want to be a part of it, and I kept it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have helped my mindset a lot. I know for a fact of so. I would just say, yeah, keep keep it trucking. Anything done? Still know that for sure, but eventually.
Yeah. I just had it. I was like, what would I tell my younger self? Oh, I had a really hard time with this. I had like all the boohoo tears with myself. You're valuable. Like,
Mhm.
you are enough. Everybody has to make improvements, but like, you are equipped with everything you need to be great and to survive. And so you are enough. You don't have to alter yourself to fit the relationship. It kind of ties in with authenticity. Like, man, you good. You were named treasure. You were named something so magnificent, and you just need to lean into how valuable you are and own that, and don't accept meager nothingness. Like, you're the best. You're good. Like, it took me way too long to realize that. So long.
Some good advice for yourself. There really is.
This is
Any
like
final?
tad bit vulnerable.
Yeah, that was a lot. I don't like talking to people about this shit, but it is what it is.
I saw your energy. I was like, oh.
No, I mean, like, relationships are like a big sore spot for me. They just are. Like, yeah, they're just a big sore spot for me. I hate talking about them now.
So we can't have several podcasts about this because it's such a
No, we
juicy topic.
can.
Yeah.
No,
I don't
we
mind the
can't, of
tears.
course.
Like, there's space for us to get the tissues out, like, for real.
Yeah. But yeah, we could talk about it. It's just this is a spot where I love seeing people in love. Like I really generally do. I love it so much. And I love seeing people happy. It's just when it comes to me, I don't think it's going to happen. So I don't have the best mindset about it for myself. For other people, I am all gung ho about it. And I'm like, you're going to find your person. It's going to be amazing. Like, I can't, what's your wedding theme going to be like? Like, I'm that type of person. Like, oh, helping my friends do whatever. For me, I shut down. Like, yeah, it's a sore spot for sure. Which, of course, I'm working on. Yeah, I'm working on it. Like, then also, like, I went through a breakup. So I'm not in the most positive mood about relationships. Even though it was a while ago, but still. Yeah. I don't mind talking about them and being vulnerable about them. It just not the super most positive person about them.
I feel like a lot of people relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Marriage is weird. I'm scared. So it's not like I'm married now and I'm just like fearless. Yes. I'm just like, I have my terrifying moments. I'm scared about having a kid. Not even the delivery part. It's just the fact that forever bonds you to that person. And then divorce is in the back of my head. So like, I'm in no rush to have kids. It's scary. It's for life. So it's a really serious thing. To me, it's even more serious than marriage. Because me and that child, we together for life. I call my mom all the time, mommy. Dad,
Yes.
da-da-da-da-da." So I take it seriously.
I'll be on the phone with my mom for nothing. I live with her. There's no reason for me to be driving down and be like, "Hey, mommy." She's like, "Hi." Or me call my dad, "Hi, daddy." Like, there's no reason for me to do all this, but I do.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely think that having kids is a big deal.
Yep.
Any final concluding thoughts? Concluding, yeah, thoughts. Or
And
let's see. I want to end it with like a question. But what are things that you guys are doing to combat the negative things that you've learned, or the negative mindset that you, how do I say that?
I'll just say this. I have that negativity, like I'm scared to be a parent. I know I'm going to be a parent, but I am terrified. And sometimes I'm like, do I even need to be a mom? I go back and forth. Like, sure, I want to. Should I be? Just throw the whole thing away. I don't know. But affirmations, preparation also. This preparation I can do, but it's also affirmations I've been repeating. I think they're so helpful because most of us have that thing we don't believe we can do. But if our environment can brainwash us and alter our thoughts, we can have control over how we think, and we can repeat to ourselves the same thing over and over again to change how we think. It's difficult, yes. Does it come easily? No, but I think consistently saying what you want is putting it out there, and it'll eventually happen. Like, I've seen it happen in my life. The things I didn't believe could happen will happen if I tell myself over and over and over and over again. So for me, it's affirmations.
Okay, so what are you guys doing to bring positivity into relationships, or to romantic relationships, or to like friendships?
To talk to myself, you know, always keep myself in check of what it is that I want. If I'm happy, asking myself if I'm happy, if I like who I am.
That's good.
Piggyback off of that too, of checking yourself part. Definitely for me, because I know there was some patterns that I picked out that I've kind of what's the word? Adopted from what I've seen. And so I've had to be really intentional about not repeating the same bad habits that I've been seeing. And so that's hard, because it's easy to just look back into your old habits and old ways. So I had to be very intentional about wanting for what I have to be different to what I've seen. So that's the part. It takes a little work, it takes a little practice. But it has to be an ongoing thing for me. Like, okay, you cannot keep repeating this type of mannerism, because if you keep repeating this and this will happen, and then all of a sudden this relationship might turn into what you've seen that has not been successful.
Definitely. I know for me, it's been like therapy, making sure that I'm going to restart therapy, but therapy was a big thing for me. And also just being the type of person that I want to be in a friendship, that I would want to be in a relationship. I want somebody that's reliable. I'm going to be reliable. I'm going to practice that all through my life until I have like the big test, So just being that person, and also going to therapy and kind of checking why I think certain ways that I'm thinking.
Oh, I was gonna add this part. Making plans. So sometimes in my friend groups, if no one makes the plans, nothing happens. And so I found that if I tell my friends, hey, are y'all available? Like we do in our group, we go like, you don't just say, hey, we're gonna hang out when we're gonna hang out. I'm like, no, okay, guys, 2 p.m. this time. I've already paid at the restaurant. I've made the reservations. Can you show up? Or like, I'm gonna make reservations. Let's do this. And if I put out the initiative and make the plan, people show up. But if there's no plans, we're just like, no one's meeting up, no one's connecting. We talk here and there, but like set plans and being that person that says, I'm going to take the initiative. I'm going to make the plans. And sometimes I think people don't like me, but it's not true. It's because I haven't made any plans. Because I have Navy wives that are like, we like each other, we just don't do anything. And then one person's like, yo, lunch this week. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do lunch. Boom, boom, boom. It happens. We connect. So somebody's got to be like the initiator. And in this group, sometimes it's Naomi, sometimes it's me. Like, we all have to take turns being like, okay, when are we doing this again? When are we going to meet up? This is the time. Be specific. And then the bond keeps growing because you make plans together and you're consistent. So
Definitely. So funny thing you say that. Me and my friend Margaret, we are making a summer bucket list, and I think I'm going to see if my friend Ebony wants to do it as well. The one that made your beautiful earrings. I saw those.
she's really beautiful. I can tell she's a quality friend. Like, I can tell the way she carries herself. She's gold. There's certain people you just see it. She's intelligent. She's beautiful. She's crafty. I know she's funny. Like, I don't even know the girl, but I just can see that she's has a good family.
And she's so kind and funny, a little bit petty, a little bit messy, but that's just between us.
That's
but
funny. We're all a little petty.
Yes, she's a good quality friend. Like, I will not let her go. Okay, that is my girl. I've known her since high school. We've been like this since high school, so yeah. But I know that in order to see them, because I want that friendship, I'm gonna make sure that we have fun all summer. It's a hot girl summer, okay? So me and my friend Margaret, we're making a summer bucket list, and we kind of already started. We decided to just pick 5 things that we want to do over the summer together that we've never done before, that are brand new to us, that we might be scared to do, but we're safe with each other, so we're just gonna try and do them together, okay? And I'm gonna try to do the same thing with Ebony. Like, hey, what are 5 things that we could do together? That'll be fun.
Ideas. I'm gonna do that. Do that.
So I guess that could be the gem of the week. Like, hey, find 5 things that you want to do with either like your partner or your friend that you guys have never done before. That'll be fun for y'all. Sounds good.
Keep bonds. Oh my God, I love that. It's like that reminder to like go out and have fun. Don't be a bum. Enjoy the summer.
The thing is, it doesn't even have to be expensive. Like, find things that you guys have to craft together.
It could be a park photo shoot. It could be a picnic. Hello. Yes.
Could be gas kind of expensive because that's not really a cheap thing to do anymore. But like, road trips aren't that cheap anymore. But like, just go to maybe a neighborhood and like look at houses that you've never seen before. Do something.
Oh yes. Go to open houses. That'd be so cute.
Yes. Maybe you even just Google the house and go zoom in and make like a board or something. Like, do 5 things. Figure it out.
Like, yeah. I love y'all so much.
I love y'all too. Like, I'm glad that we've created this safe space for us.
Yeah. It's gonna keep getting better.
And better and better and better and better and better. All right. We had a great podcast. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Adios. Bye.
Bye.